This is the Series 1 by ADPT. ADPT is a house brand of sorts from Worn & Wound, and the Series 1 is a collaboration with Boldr, a watch brand from Singapore. It's for this reason that the Series 1 uses the same faceted case as Boldr's Venture line. The case is made out of titanium and features very defined crease lines, reminiscent of the divisive design language that General Motors used on the Cadillac CTS from the mid-2000s. An automotive abomination only bested later by the Pontiac Aztek. Unlike in car form, however, the sharp crease lines work well with the Series 1. They seem purposeful and serve as a pleasant counterpoint to the sloping bezel. Speaking of bezel, it doesn't have 24, 60, or 120 clicks. It actually has 0 clicks, so it moves around freely throughout the day, just like the bezel on the Vostok Amphibia. In theory, this is hardly objectionable, since I don't partake in deep-sea diving or deep-sea diving cosplay. But in practice, something like this can drive me crazy. This is because I seem to care about unimportant things and not because I am, quote, OCD. That's because OCD is something you are diagnosed with. It's a disorder and you can't be a disorder. You can't be OCD any more than you can be the common cold. So yeah, the bezel. It moves all day long, so keep that in mind. The Series 1 comes in different color schemes, this one being blue and red, a color scheme that in the world of watches is often thought of as being reserved for the Submariner or its many derivatives. In this watch, however, the colors are brighter, almost as though the Series 1 were playfully giving the finger to the Submariner, the golden child of the watch industry. The Series 1's use of color takes inspiration from outdoor lifestyle brands. It's interesting and refreshing to see a watch brand take color inspiration from something other than the watch industry itself, thus freeing it from the postmodern, self-referential feedback loop that is the watch industry at large. The case is made out of titanium, which likely means that the watch is very light. Not that I would know, since I refuse to weigh any watch. I mean, who on earth would do such a thing? So yeah, made out of titanium, which means it has a pleasant satin finish. The crown is well finished as well, though it's a bit difficult to unscrew at times due to its shape and placement. Lume is very generously applied, with its glow being visible even in slight shade during the daytime. This, along with its 200 meters of water resistance, makes the watch a magnificently well-appointed all-arounder. The Series 1 comes with a one-piece NATO-type strap, which is entirely made in the United States, though I have opted for an almost color-matched rubber strap from a fine online boutique called Amazon. The dial on the Series 1 is interestingly textured, like Van's apple cinnamon gluten-free frozen waffles. Its hands are unusually shaped, a bit like the balloons that a creepy clown might use to make animals out of. But therein lies a small design issue. The hands don't look enough like balloons from a creepy clown. By this I mean that they are squared off as they come to a tip. If they were properly rounded off, like a clown's balloon of choice, their shape would nicely echo the shape of the typeface used on the bezel, date, and minute markers. This is nitpicking at an almost molecular level, but I often wonder how the visual language of objects can be pared down rather than being added to. Molecular nitpicking aside, the Series 1 is a very well thought out and successful design. It succeeds in showing what's possible with the freedom that is afforded to micro brands today. Freedom that is often wasted by some in trying to look like a well-known design from some storied Swiss brand or another. That design approach, one that merely references existing watch designs, is understandable. After all, micro brands are small businesses. Very small businesses, ones where a single person is often putting a substantial amount of personal capital or funds raised from sweaty-palmed Kickstarter patrons on the line. So while a conservative approach to watch design is understandable, I'm simply glad to see that ADPT chose otherwise for the Series 1 and managed to take some subtle but worthwhile risks in the watch's design.